Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 shameless video game cash grabs.
You haven't seen anything yet.
For this list, we'll be looking at video games that were clearly created to squeeze life from an IP or drain money from their consumer base. Did you give your money to any of these cash grabs? Which ones did you avoid like the plague? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 20. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Remakes and remasters are a common trend in the modern era of video games. While some of them come with welcome updates, others are only viewed by how much money they can make. After a remastered bundle of Crash Bandicoot's first trilogy was well received, Activision revealed his racing game would be getting the same treatment. Fans were delighted, and the game was certainly fun, but the problem came post-launch. Microtransactions are another common trend, and one that's usually met with a wave of vitriol. Activision seemingly knew this and waited until after the game got positive reviews to include them in a patch, and it rubbed pretty much everyone the wrong way. Number 19. Dead Rising 4. There was a time when Capcom upheld shady DLC practices. Street Fighter X Tekken was met with backlash for charging players for characters already in the game's files, and Azura's Wrath was criticized for locking the real ending behind a price point. In the case of the latter, Capcom tried something similar with Dead Rising 4.
What about that light over there? It's blinking a lot.
God damn it, Frank! Just get in the machine!
Not only was the game disappointing in comparison to other entries, but it ended on a cliffhanger, and you had to buy the very poorly received DLC to find out what happened. The studio learned its lesson, but at a steep price. A fifth entry was cancelled after Capcom Vancouver closed down in 2018.
If Frank could have it his way, this is where the story would end.
Number 18. The House of the Dead Remake. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the House of the Dead series dominated arcade shooters. On top of zombies, it had fantastic gothic creature designs and blisteringly fast mechanics that made it a blast to play alone or with a friend. Sega remade the first game in 2022, but most of the magic and nostalgia was lost. First launching on the Switch, it supported inaccurate motion aiming and could be beaten in less than an hour. Even when it was ported to other platforms, it strangely never added online co-op and barely had anything new to keep players coming back. It may not have been a full-price game, but it still wasn't worth it. Number 17. Fallout 76. When you take out a ton of features players love and toss whatever's left into a boring, bug-filled husk of a world, we have to question if you're thinking about anything else other than dollar signs. Upon the launch of Fallout 76, Bethesda was met with confusion, anger, and disappointment from every corner of the internet. was a far cry from what fans wanted from the series, and things continuously declined for several years. The studio overcharged on special editions and underdelivered on the products, as well as created an overpriced subscription service for players to pay for what they actually wanted. Needless to say, hopes aren't high for the future of the franchise. Number 16. Super Mario 3D AllStars. Announced for Mario's 35th anniversary, this collection compiled 3 classic 3D adventures for Switch: Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. What made it hard for fans to get excited, however, were the details surrounding its release. Nintendo charged $60 for the collection, despite the newest game being from 2007. There was little to no improvements to the gameplay or graphics, and no additional features outside of soundtracks. Furthermore, Nintendo only made it available for a limited time, concocting a faux collector's edition approach to drive sales. Unfortunately, it worked. By the end of the 6-month period it was said to be in stores, it had sold over 9 million units.
Here we go!
Number 15. Marvel's Avengers. A brand new Avengers game, released during one of Marvel's most popular periods in history, should have been a generation-defining experience. Sadly, we know that wasn't the case. Cashing in on the popularity of superheroes wasn't Shameless, but tacking on a ton of live service elements and microtransactions certainly was.
I didn't want to hurt you.
This design and the narrative just didn't mesh well together, especially since the game didn't launch as free-to-play. Post-game support never turned things around, with Avengers getting delisted in September of 2022. Square Enix would claim Crystal Dynamics the wrong fit as developer, which anyone familiar with the studio's past work could have seen. Regardless, no amount of talent in narrative-driven games would have stopped the publisher from getting greedy.
You have no idea how dangerous it is.
Number 14. Radical Heights.
Thank you everyone in our studio audience for being here today. Boy oh boy do we have an exciting show for you.
Turns out chasing trends and straining to keep one's company afloat don't exactly mix well. That's certainly how it looks with Radical Heights, the show-themed battle royale title being developed by Boss Key Productions. Promoted as being very early in development, it drew little excitement due to its plethora of bugs and uninspired design elements. Not helping matters is the fact that Radical Heights was announced not long after the financial losses and player hemorrhaging of Boss Key's previous game, Lawbreakers. With Boss Key shutting down as of May 2018, it's safe to say this project didn't pan out. Number 13. Capcom Fighting Evolution. Sometimes what's broken can't be fixed, such is the case with Capcom Fighting Evolution. Known outside of North America as Capcom Fighting Jam, the game draws upon various Capcom mascots and brings them together to battle one another in 2-on-1 fights. All well and good in theory, but the game's blend of awkward controls and underwhelming character design proved divisive. It's been heavily speculated that Fighting Evolution was actually a salvage job, constructed from the mechanics and artwork left over from the abandoned project Capcom Fighting AllStars. Regardless, it doesn't look good when Capcom puts out a product that feels so much like an exploitation of fan appeal and audience goodwill. Number 12. Skylanders Series.
What we're gonna do is... Oh!
Unfortunately, microtransactions have proven very profitable for Activision, but it also squeezed money from consumers through its toy-to-life series Skylanders. Beginning as a spin-off of Spyro the Dragon, the franchise really took off in the early 2010s. Kids loved the multitude of creatures you could purchase in-store and seeing each one come to life in-game. Of course, Activision took full advantage of this.
Totally. Ooh, maybe not.
From 2011 to 2016, a new game was released every year along with a ton of new figurines for kids to buy. Or, more accurately, get their parents to buy. The idea was bled until nothing was left. Imaginators fell short of sales expectations, and the series has stayed quiet since its last release, a mobile game in 2018. Number 11. Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition.
They mess with me, they mess with the biggest boy in town!
Similar to Nintendo's Mario compilation, Rockstar charged $60 for a trilogy that was released on the PS2. While this collection did have updated graphics and gameplay, it also had a lot of other problems. Prior to launch, the original versions of the games were removed from digital stores and only made available again after the studio received a wave of backlash.
But it's all drugs, Sonny. None of the families will touch that shit.
The updated graphics actually made the characters look worse, while there were a slew of technical issues and bugs. These issues made the collection everyone's punching bag, and rightfully so. But the backlash also reportedly stopped plans to remaster Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead Redemption. If they were going to turn out like this, we'd say that's a good thing.
You could go and check him out. I will. And I'll be seeing you around.
Number 10. Evolve. When it launched, this 4 vs 1 beast hunting game from Turtle Rock Studios definitely showed promise, yet felt strangely lacking in content. Looking back to its promotion, the reasoning becomes clear. Turtle Rock and publisher 2K spent much of their time shilling the pre-order bonuses ahead of the actual game. In-game monsters and hunters were being sold well before Evolve hit store shelves, with Turtle Rock themselves saying the game was designed with DLC implementation and sales in mind. With Evolve getting multiple special editions and a season pass on top of all of that, it became crystal clear how steeped in industry malarkey this game was. Number 9. Final Fantasy: All the Bravest. Square's landmark role-playing franchise might have its ups and downs, but this feels like an especially noteworthy low for them. All the Bravest seemed promising in concept, a mobile reworking of classic Final Fantasy combat mechanics with many of the franchise's most beloved characters as selectable party members. Unfortunately, at release, people were greeted with a repetitive, grind-heavy experience where one's party could be utterly wiped out in seconds, yet took several minutes to respawn, unless you spend cash. Furthermore, the advertised legacy characters were walled off behind a randomized shop system, creating a drive to spend more money and maybe get one's party of choice. Number 8. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Such a cute world, but not so cute business decisions. Deviating from the home renovation and town management of past titles, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival was pitched more as a variation on the party game model popularized by Mario Party. It certainly doesn't lack for charm in its characters and visuals, but the game faltered when it came to providing quality minigames and a consistently engaging mood. It became apparent that the game was made more as a means of selling Nintendo's signature Amiibo figurines than as a genuinely worthwhile creative endeavor. Hell, the director of Amiibo Festival freely admitted that the Amiibos were a factor in the game's development. Not that the honesty makes it any more acceptable. Number 7. Diablo Immortal. Ever since the advent of games on phones, players have been voicing their dissatisfaction of their favorite franchises getting watered-down mobile entries. Nowhere in the history of video games is that more true than with Diablo Immortal. Receiving a world-famous negative reaction upon announcement, its controversy only spread wider when it released.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
While many agreed that it could actually be fun, there was no denying what it was designed to do: rake in cash. Some clever players have deduced that it would take thousands of dollars to fully upgrade your character due to the way the progression system was designed. We all know you don't have to do that, but that doesn't make it much easier to stomach. Number 6. Dungeon Keeper.
Wave 4.
Way to drive a beloved IP into the dirt, Electronic Arts. Yes, few are keen to forget when EA sought to reboot Dungeon Keeper as an allegedly free-to-play mobile game. Launching in January 2014, it soon drew scorn for the way the series' beloved dark humor and carefully considered strategy gameplay were mangled by the demands of a monetization-first business model. Any action undertaken could last over 24 real-world hours, only speeding up by spending an in-game gem currency, which you could naturally buy with real money. Between the disrespect paid to the source material and the cloying usage of microtransactions, this was an out-and-out disgrace.
You have conquered this realm.
Number 5. Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery.
Your letter has arrived.
Many longtime fans of the Harry Potter books and wider franchise were ecstatic by the prospect of a mobile title that dealt with the life and times of their own personalized Hogwarts student. Hogwarts Mystery quickly showed its hand as a clear-cut exploiter of those very hopes and nostalgic dreams. Its core gameplay loop of tapping on-screen prompts to progress is built upon energy currency, which can be earned in-game or, you guessed it, purchased instantly with real dollars. Per the free-to-play stereotype, Hogwarts Mystery contrives situation after situation where players are drained of energy points, with wait times sufficiently infuriating so as to make a quick cash injection seem reasonable. The infamous Devil's Snare segment comes to mind, which forces players to buy enough energy to escape or wait and watch their character be strangled. For shame, Mr. Potter, for shame. Number 4. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Once upon a time, a glorified prologue wouldn't have served as a full-fledged Metal Gear game. Ground Zeroes fell victim to the push for more profit, being the first of 2 games that encompassed the full Metal Gear Solid 5 experience. From its central plot being incredibly brief and controversial in content, to its side missions acting as shallow fluff, the entirety of Ground Zeroes felt superfluous to fans. In interviews prior to the game's release, series creator Hideo Kojima claims that the decision to release Ground Zeroes was made in light of development taking so long on The Phantom Pain. Not a great move in retrospect.
You met with him, face to face, in order to contact Big Boss.
Number 3. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Well, this was a debacle. 2016's Infinite Warfare was already on its way to universal derision thanks to a widely panned announcement trailer. However, matters did not improve when said trailer also declared the highly anticipated remaster of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare would only be available with special editions of Infinite Warfare. Many considered the decision to lock off Modern Warfare Remastered in this fashion to be a cynical and manipulative one, motivated by publisher Activision's push for constant rising profits. Later details, like added microtransactions and selling a decade-old map pack for a higher price, only further soured opinions and reinforced the image of a publisher driven by pure greed. Number 2. EA's sports titles.
So we added these moves in defensive situations as well. And if a defensive player is in a good position, those desperation plays can be easily countered.
There's no denying that Electronic Arts is one of the most hated publishers in gaming. But the company's most egregious acts of overcharging players come in its sports games. Many players have been complaining for years about how EA churns out entries every year with almost no changes to roster, gameplay, graphics, or anything really, yet still charges full price.
Well, he's going to wear out the right stick playing like that. They say it's a game of two halves, and you can really feel the intensity building here.
That's not to mention its focus on loot boxes and microtransactions in more recent years, which push players to spend more money on things that could have helped the game stand out from past releases to begin with. From Madden to FIFA to NHL, sports fans deserve better. But with EA in charge, it isn't likely they're going to get it.
From the first frame to the dying embers, it's football everywhere.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, thanks.
There had to be a better way to try and live up to Kojima Productions' efforts, right? Konami's first Metal Gear game after the departure of Hideo Kojima aims to present a clear and enticing vision for the series' future. What the gaming public received was Metal Gear Survive, a post-apocalyptic survival game rooted in current design fads and built on borrowed assets from Metal Gear Solid 5. Many found Survive to not only be tiresome and lackluster, but also a lazy cash-in on lingering goodwill for Metal Gear. And let's not even get into Konami's inclusion of a microtransaction-based currency and selling of save slots for real-world money.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.